Okay, good evening classmates. Welcome to our presentation. Today we're going to relax and watch a movie. You will not have to listen to us talk on and on. So let me just tell you about what we're going to do. So I'm going to give you an overview of our presentation first. We are going to be talking about three kinds of tests. The first is TOEIC, the second is NEET, and the last is, what's the last one?
IELTS something.
Yeah, that's the one. Something like that. And I just want to introduce our presenters. My name is William. I'm going to be talking about NEET. Me here.
I'm Ji. I'm talking about TOEIC.
She's going to be talking about TOEIC. And Brenton is going to be talking about his one, the IELTS one. Yeah. Hi. Now, let's introduce these other people you can see here. These are our children. Who wants to go first? Okay, this guy up here, his name is Daniel. Say something. Okay, this is Aaron. Okay. That's Scotty. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. These two boys are my sons. This is Ji-hong, 10-year-old, and this is Jun-hong, 7-year-old. Say hello to them.
Let's say hello.
Hello.
Okay, so one of the reasons we want to evaluate tests is not just for our own knowledge, but is also because we want to understand how our students react to these tests. So in order to do that, let's ask some students what they think about tests.
Okay guys, do you like ice cream?
Yes.
Do you like candies?
Yes.
Do you like tests?
No.
Really? No? Okay, here are some Hyopsang students. We're going to ask them today what they feel about tests. Okay, so I want to ask you all a question. How do you feel about taking tests? Would you go first?
Very hard.
Very hard? Very hard? I know how you feel. What do you think?
Everything test is so hard, but English test is so hard.
So hard? Okay. What do you think?
Very so difficult too.
Right. There she is.
Hi everyone, I'm Ji. Today I'm going to talk about TOEIC. We will describe it and evaluate it.
Okay.
Okay, TOEIC consists of two tests, listening and reading, and speaking and writing. So now I'm going to talk about listening and reading test first. Listening and reading are multiple choices with 100 items each. So first let's talk about listening test. Listening test, the test will be begin by photo. Okay, let me show you. You can see these pictures and you have to describe. You will hear the options and you have to choose the best options. Okay. One picture and among A, B, C, D, you choose the best matches answer. And second one is question and response. So I will show you.
The second question is question and response?
Question and response. So you just listen. There is no description here. You just listen and choose the best matches answer. A, B, C.
So each there's just listening. There's nothing written. Nothing written. Yeah.
Okay, and next move on to conversation part 3. Conversation is the two people talk about something. You just listen their conversation and you choose the best answers. This is part 3. Here part 3. Okay, there is a conversation. You just listen the conversation.
Right.
And you choose the answer in the paper. Okay, let's move on to the part 4. This is, we call them short talks. There is a single person who make a speech. You just listen and you have to choose the right answer related to this speech. Okay, that's it for the listening test. Hello. Okay, now let's move on to reading test. Reading test is consists of three parts. First, I will explain incomplete sentences. Here, there is one sentence, and you have to choose the right answer. This is a closed activity. So in the sentence and in there are 4 options, and you have to use your grammar knowledge. And part 6, we call them error recognition. There is also one sentence, and there are 4 options. You have to choose the best matches answer. So in here, all options are grammatically correct, but you have to use you have to understand the content. And next, the last part is reading comprehension. So in reading comprehension is very basic reading test. So there is a paragraph, and there are options, the questions. So you have to choose the right answer related the understanding of the content. Okay, that's it.
Action.
Okay, now let's move on to speaking and writing test. Speaking and writing test is for the production of the test, and speaking test needs 20 minutes and the writing test for 60 minutes. Okay, let's talk about speaking test first. The speaking test, it begin by very easy and basic questions such as read a text aloud and describe a picture. But move on to another question, it takes more difficulty. For example, at the question 11, you have to express your opinion in your own speech. Okay, and now let's move on to writing test. Writing test has 8 items, and writing test is similar to speaking test. At the beginning, it starts with a basic question. For example, you have to write a sentence based on a picture and describing picture. But at the last part, it's quite complicated task. For example, you have to write down your own opinion, and you have to write down an essay.
Greetings. I see that you are seeking some wisdom about NEET. So today I will give you some information about this test. Okay. Well, first of all, NEET was developed as a way to replace tests such as TOEIC at a lower cost. And one of the purposes of the NEET test was to try to reduce the reliance on these expensive tests for Korean people. Okay. Now, the way that they set this up is that there's actually 3 levels of the test. Level 1 is actually not called NEET, it's actually called NEPT. And level 2 and level 3 are called NEET. And they will focus for college entrance assessment. Okay. Now, a lot of the items on the test are rather similar to TOEIC. I mean, they have the same basic 4 parts. The 4 basic skills, the same as the TOEIC test. Also, they have speaking and writing and listening and reading set up in the same way as the TOEIC test. In fact, if you have a look here, take a look. That's the basic setup of the tests, the constitution of the tests, right? You can see that there is a bunch of listening questions, reading, speaking, writing, and there's a certain amount of time. The total time limit of this test is 135 minutes. Okay, the breakdown of how the test questions are set up are as follows. The reading has questions about factual information, inference, and comprehension. The listening test has something called an appropriate response, main idea, purpose, opinion, factual information, and chart and map. So some of these questions are again quite similar to TOEIC. And the speaking, they have 4 questions. One of them is a series of 4 questions, I guess short answer or very simple basic questions. One of the items in the speaking test is a problem-solving question. A picture description is the next one, and then finally there is a question related to a presentation. So the speaking test has quite a lot of different tasks that you can do by speaking. The writing test has 2 kinds of things. There is a structured and guided essay, and then there's also an essay, which I guess they give you a little more freedom about how to write. Okay, let me give you some kind of news and some of the statistics about NEET that are relevant to this test. Okay, so first of all, Korea is actually ranked 46th out of 59 in English proficiency. So this is one of the reasons why NEET is being pushed to be developed. Another interesting fact is that 20.9 million won is spent on education in Korea, especially English education. So it's actually a very low return for the money people invest, and then they get they don't get really good scores in the international ratings. So this is part of the reason why NEET was developed. However, even though this has a fairly, there's a good reason to develop a test like this, there's also problems with how it's been implemented. So, for example, Kim Sun-hyun, the director of Pacific Group, said that without investing in infrastructure and teachers, then all that would happen through the implementation of NEET would be that people would start going to Hall-1s even more. It would just create another mad rush to outside English education, which I think is again not one of the policies, not one of the things they wanted to do with NEET. Lastly, this year, actually 27 colleges are adopting NEET as part of their entrance acceptance criteria or entrance acceptance, to choose the students. So even though it's not being implemented fully, it's being partially implemented in terms of getting people to come into colleges. Okay, that's what I want to say about NEET. Thank you. Okay, here we go. We're going to find Brent. Here's Brent's office. Hi there, mate. Here, Brenton is counselling one of our many friends and colleagues about IELTS.
I'm thinking of taking a language test. How about the IELTS?
Hello, random colleague. The IELTS has 4 different sections: listening, speaking, reading, writing, that are generally balanced. The IELTS are multi-level with scores between 1 and 9. It's quite expensive to take the test, being around $200 US. The purpose of this test is to assess the language ability of candidates who need to work or study in an English-speaking country. During your speaking test, you will have a one-on-one interview with a specially trained examiner. In 2012, over 2 million people were tested for IELTS. The test is taken in over 500 locations in 121 countries, with up to 48 dates available for each location. IELTS is split between academic and general training tests. Here we'll be looking at the academic version. For the listening part, there will be 4 recorded monologues and conversations. For the reading passage, there will be 3 long reading passages with tasks to complete. The writing section consists of a writing task of 150 words and a short essay of at least 250 words.
Oh my god.
The speaking component has a face-to-face interview, of course, with short questions. As far as the examiners go, you need at least an undergraduate degree and a TOEFL TESOL qualification to do so. along with substantial relevant teaching experience. Beyond that, you must attend regular training sessions and formally demonstrate marking proficiency through recertification. Now, returning back to the four components, learners must be able to identify a variety of voices and native speaker accents. The reading part, you'll need to read for gist, main ideas, details, skimming, argument, opinions, attitudes, and purpose. And as far as rubrics go, there are public rubrics that the IELTS releases, but they also have internal ones that we can't see.
Secret rubrics.
Pretty much. For writing, for example, coherency and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range, and accuracy are all each worth 25%. For speaking, it's split up into 4: fluency and coherence, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation make up that scoring. Okay, I think that just about covers it, random colleague, and I'll see you later.
Why, thank you very much. You were very, very helpful.